Welcome back, everyone, to episode 4 of the Gran Turismo 4 Germanlocke. Today, we're going to be picking up our next car. We've got 273,000 credits to spend. If you guys watched last episode, probably the longest we'll see. It took me 2 hours to film. We had to do the B and A license. I had to reinstall PCSX2 because it was completely hating B3 in both Gran Turismo 4 and 3. So, yeah, here we are. So we've got a lot of options for 270k. Now, here's the thing. I could easily jump into a Mercedes-Benz right now and get the SL65 AMG and absolutely wreck house. But I'm not going to do that because that's cheating, effectively, here. I'm trying to keep things relative to where we are in the game. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to buy... See, here's where I'm torn because the Beetle RSI exists and the Golf R32 exists. The Golf R32 is my dream Volkswagen. The RSI is cool. We didn't get him here, but it's also double the price of the R32. So I'm going to do the R32 here. And the reason I was debating the RSI was because I was thinking about getting the HPA Turbo one later in the game. But for now, we're going to get just the regular R32. This will be our entry for our four-wheel drive challenge. And then I'm going to also buy a couple other cars for the other challenges. We're going to get for the midship, we're going to run the Roof 3400S. We're going to get it in this Miami blue kind of color. Maybe, I don't know. I'm kind of leaning towards this yellow, honestly. Let's do the yellow. So this is effectively a Porsche Boxster. So we're going to cop this as well. So now we've got 2 new cars to use in the Germanlocke. And then our last car we're going to purchase is something that's front-engined rear-wheel drive. And part of the reason I chose the Roof as well is because it'll be eligible for the convertible challenge, where I don't think the Speedster will be. So for our rear-wheel drive car, we're going to choose a BMW, and I'm leaning towards more than likely, I don't know, do I want to go BMW here? 74 grand for an M3, 338 horsepower on that. The E46 is a freaking legend. But what do we got from the Benz? What do we got here? I mean, granted, we're going to be spending way more because I can get a CLK55 for double the price, or I can get an SL500, which is just going to be a boat. So I'm definitely going to go back to BMW here. We're going to go with the M3. We're going to go with the E46 M3. Do not want it in that color. We want it in Laguna Seca Blue. Iconic color. So now we've got our 3 new cars to use for the rest of the Beginner League events. And we're going to do some building. So the question is which challenge do I want to do first? Because that will determine which car we use first. So let's see what we still have left, what we can do. So we've got the FR, the 4-wheel drive, the MR, and more than likely we'll be able to do the Spider and Roadster with the Roof. So the decision is which one do we take on first? It looks like they're all going to give about the same amount of cash each. The MR challenge actually gives more money. But the question is, do I want to rock the Boxster first, or do I want to run the R32 first? We've done a lot of Volkswagen stuff with the Lupo, so do I want to give it a break for an episode and go with the Roof or the BMW? I think we're going to go with the Roof for this one, because it's got the most stuff we can do. So that means we'll park the M3 and the R32 for a bit, and bring out the Roof 3400S. Make sure it's actually able to compete in Spider and Roadster, because I would not be surprised if this game found a way to blacklist this car from Spider and Roadster, which it is allowed. That's more than likely we're going to wind up first. See if there's anything going on Tuning Village or not for this car. So we're going to do some upgrades with it. We're going to do pretty much just basic stuff. I don't want to spend a ton of money on this car just because, you know, I'm building this for pretty much for just this one series. I'll probably keep it because it is a good car, but for how long is the question. So we are going to go ahead and do, let's see, I can't do stage 3, but we'll do the stage 2 NA. We'll throw the chip on it. Let's see, how much sport and polish for this car? It doesn't do a lot. That does get a lot of power, though. We're going to try to get as close to 400 horsepower as we can. Which is a bit of a struggle, considering how little there is to do with this car. There's no turbos or anything like that for this thing. Let's see. We'll hit right at 400 with it. I know I wasn't planning on spending that money on that part, but why not? We're going to make this thing as best as we can. I forgot to do the oil change, though. Oh, well. Okay, so let's do... Same thing as before. We'll do the semi-racing suspension kit on this car since it's already equipped with Sport. And then we'll switch over to some good tires for it as well. We'll go with probably the racing... Can we do mediums on this car? We can do mediums on this car. But I'm actually going to just do hards. Where I just want it to handle better than it can now. And I think that the mediums may be a little overkill for 400 horsepower. And the last thing I'm going to do is something I've neglected with the Lupo. Is I'm going to upgrade the clutch. We're going to go with a triple disc clutch. Yeah, triple plate, triple disc, whatever. Clutch. Because this is like a twin disc. And we're going to throw a more aggressive flywheel in there. I'm going to leave the stock diff on this car because I don't necessarily think it needs to be changed out. And I think if I can, I'm going to add some aero to this car, which is something I didn't do with the Lupo, but I don't know for sure if it's something I can do with this car. Nope, can't with the roof. Okay, I thought I could. Go ahead and do the oil change, even though I think the effects that it's had in these older Gran Turismo games is negated when you do any mods to the car. So with my luck, it's probably not going to make any more than 400 horsepower now. But regardless, I think we make plenty of power to go and put the hurt on some people. We are going to change the wheels out. That'll be a first for this series because I just focused on making the Lupo fast. I didn't focus on making it look any different. So we are going to do some wheels. Now, I am a BBS fanboy, so I'm going to slap on some LMs on this car. The question is, though, we're going to do silver. I think gold or the yellow just doesn't work. Maybe for the Laguna Seca blue car, my M3, we'll throw gold wheels on it. This car, on the other hand, is not going to get that. I apologize for the voice cracks. I have filmed the first 4 episodes for this series back-to-back. So you guys are probably going to hear me sound terrible towards the end of this, but, you know. Oh, wow, okay, so I guess I don't get my slicks. Well, darn. Oh, well, that's fine. We still make 400 horsepower. We're going to be able to walk away with this. I do feel bad that I wasted 10 grand on those tires, so. And I'm not even going to get to rock the freaking BBSs that I put on this car now. But let's see what this thing can do. I have a lot of faith. I mean, we're facing a bunch of slower convertibles. We got Miatas and stuff. We're in a 400 horsepower built, effectively a Porsche Boxster. I do see a Speedster. That'll probably be the biggest threat we have here. Like the Miata and the SLK and stuff, I'm not worried about. That Opel, though. Oh, man, this thing sounds terrible. This is definitely not what a Porsche Flat 6 sounds like. Oh, well, shoot. Okay. This is not going planned so far. At least it's only 2 laps here. I get this race is meant for slower convertibles, but when our options are severely limited to like the Z4, this, and like the expensive Mercedes, like, what else am I going to pick? Plus, everyone knows I worship Porsche. I worship the Stuttgart brand. Question is, I don't think this is a Speedster Turbo. I think this is just a regular old Speedster. Which means I'm going to be able to easily get around it. Which is very handy for me. So I guess I could have gone with the Speedster over the roof. Probably save some cash. But I also feel like this car makes a lot more power being set up because it's a 6-cylinder versus the 4-cylinder of the Speedster. Okay, well, I went off there and it kind of screwed me a little bit. Let's see if I can reel him back in. It looks like that's not going to be an issue because, again, this is not a Speedster Turbo. It's just a regular old Speedster. Got right back around him. Wasn't that hard, but I fully expected that to be pretty brutal. Alright, lap 1's complete. Not a bad lap there. That going off in that chicane there kind of ruined me. Or I don't know if that was a chicane. It's more just a corner. Okay, a little late braking there, but it's fine. We got the brakes for it in this car. It's Porsche brakes. Technically roof, but Porsche brakes. Which should bring this car to a halt pretty easily. bring it home. First race in the roof. Looks like it's going to be a success. Oh gosh. Got off more in this car than I did the Lupo. Just one race. My freaking finger keeps slipping. I'm not even sweating. It's just this controller is like the tiniest little trigger buttons I've ever touched. Alright, off we go on the back straight. Sounds more like a 4-cylinder. It doesn't even sound like a 6-cylinder. Let alone a Porsche 6-cylinder. What would the sound designers of this game were thinking? They literally could have just made the standard sounds the games used. Because a lot of them were good. Just raspier and louder. Versus just making them sound completely different. I almost hate putting race exhaust on cars. And this was an issue they had all the way up until Gran Turismo 7. Like 5 and 6, dude, were just as guilty. The fact that when I got an LFA in Gran Turismo 5 and I put an exhaust on it, I regretted it. Put the stock exhaust back on, even if it made the car slower. Because I could not stand that awful noise it made. It was one of the worst things I'd ever experienced. So we're headed to Trial Mountain next, and this track has a bit of a cut I can use at the end. Well, I guess at the beginning. Just notice this was the verse layout. So we'll be able to take advantage of that. And we are off. Holy crap, they are like veering in on me. Alright, let's take a little shortcut. Don't mind me. I'm just trying to get through this. I already know how this is going to end. These guys, I feel like I have done it again, building an overpowered car. It's fine. It's fine. We've already got 3 seconds up on that Miata. I probably should have just left this car stock, but screw it. There's plenty of challenge in this run. I've had enough challenge, okay, guys? Like, give me a break. Let me have my fun a little bit in an overpowered car. The Lupo was a battle the entire time. And this is what I thought this challenge was going to go like. It was going to be a grind at first, because I was going to be stuck with like the Lupo or the new Beetle 2.0 or one of the more slower German cars in the game. And then I was going to bump up to these at some point. The Roof, the R32, and the M3. I could have gotten a CSL instead of the regular M3, but I opted for the regular M3 for the lone reason of cost savings. And I don't really feel like I get enough of a benefit with the CSL other than it being generally lighter, meaning that the weight reduction on the CSL will be better than the regular M3. But I'm more than happy with the lineup I chose. Alright, and we are nailing the start-finish straight here. We're going to do our little shortcut again. I love that I could do that in this game. So I tried that in Gran Turismo 7, it would end horribly for me. "17-second gap. That is wild. We are back to being overpowered. It's wild. Let's bring it home. It's nice being in something that can hit 100 pretty easily, whereas the freaking Lupo was a pain. The Lupo never hit 100, except when I was spraying the nitrous on it. Do wish I had my racing tires on, but we are fine without. It is no big deal. I think eventually I will bump up to the HPA R32. That'll probably be the breadwinner for this run, much like how the S4 was for GT2 Plus, the HPA car. A lot of people probably say, well, the HPA car is technically Canadian. It's an R32 underneath. It's a Volkswagen. Get over it. It's a German car. It counts. Even though I'm sure I won't be able to do the majority of German-specific events, like the Schwarzwald League and stuff like that. There we go. Easy peasy, double squeezy for our lemon-colored roof. I keep wanting to call it a Porsche. It's not technically a Porsche, but it is. Got one more race in this series. That's at Infineon. This is a track that doesn't really give me a ton of trouble, but it might be a little bit difficult because Infineon's a track that I guess it's Sonoma now. I keep wanting to call it Sonoma because, you know, that's what it goes by now, but this car should make easy work of it. It's interesting not being able to put an aero in this, though, but I guess because it's convertible. But at the same time, I don't think you can do it with the RGT or the CTRs, whether it be the Yellowbird or the CTR2. And that Miata was right in the way. The SLK 230 right around him. I don't think there's any cuts I can use here, so we're gonna race fair. It's a shame there's no Speedster turbos, because I feel like that would give me a bit more of a run for my money. Looks like, is that a Z3 or a Z4? I think it's a Z4. It's a shame that Z4M wasn't in this game, but I don't think it existed when this game came out, or was in development at least. You know, obviously this being a PS2 game, over-the-air updates didn't exist. Let's bring this home. I don't even think this layout is even in use anymore either with this specific corner. Should look at iRacing again at their Infineon layout. It's a shame that a lot of what I've learned on iRacing does not transfer over to this controller very well at all. I guess because I'm using a wheel, but you know. Almost 6 seconds up on that Opel already, which is a bit of a surprise. Gosh, that one lap guided lap in this thing, on this track, with the PT Cruiser, worst thing ever. Granted, I hate the guided lap license tests anyway. I made that pretty clear last episode. But man, I hated that. It was almost 3 minutes of driving around this track in that PT Cruiser, being caught up behind that stupid skyline. Like, for real, it's ridiculous. Uh-oh. Well, the Opel's got a chance to catch back up. That was pretty bad off. I bent it pretty good there. Oh, man, again. I'm not doing too hot now. I'm getting too comfortable. That clutch and fly wheel is making a huge difference because it's shifting a lot faster. It's still not like crazy fast, but it's shifting a lot quicker than I'm sure it would have stock. The 2.3 is always so slow. I'm guessing it's emulating real life though, because it does take longer to get into third from second than from third into fourth. It also doesn't take that little a time to shift down to fourth. there we are, headed to the finish line. For pretty easy three-peat in the roof, which is a little interesting after considering how undominant the Lupo was. Like it took nitrous to get the Lupo to be competitive. Man, that was brutal. But hey, I mean, we made it work. Let's see what our prize car is for this one. The Chrysler Prowler. Okay. Car that I don't necessarily care for. They're weird. What can I say? So let's sell that off if we can. Not going to put any more money into the roof because that's already too fast. I'm going to focus on the other cars, obviously. I have a bit shorter of a budget to work with the M3 and the R32, obviously. That was kind of like my thinking was one of these was going to be extremely dominant, the other ones weren't. And I chose the roof because we're doing the most races with it, because we've got, obviously, all of these races here as well, which should be, you know, advantage me here, to be frank. I mean, this car is significantly faster than the rest of the pack in the beginner league stuff. We've got the Esprit, a couple NSXs, the Elise, the MR2, and then us, but none of those are making 400 horsepower. Only one lap more than the Sunday Cup race, and we're in cars that are twice as fast, which is interesting. Do hate my BBS is on the car, but that is what it is. Okay, gotta get around the other NSX here. The Type R, I'm surprised, is not ahead of that NSX, but got the Esprit up front. It's an old Esprit HC turbo. Holy wow, we are reeling him in fast. I think I went a little overboard. This car is too fast for this point in the game. Okay, let's bring it around. Two more laps to go. We're lapping only 3 seconds faster than the fastest I was ever able to get the Lupo around here. But I feel like because I was cutting that chicane there. Whereas I am not doing that in this car as much as I can, at least. Final lap here. Probably another few laps. I'd start lapping people. Goodness, this car is way too fast for its own good at this race. Alright. That was the longest 2 minutes of my life. That did not feel like 2 minutes. That felt like 10. The fact we've only been going for 24 minutes now, and we've completed a championship and some change. Pretty surprising. Also, we've been recording for well over 3 hours now, so I am very tired, as you can imagine. But hey, I mean, I got a month of content now with this game because I'm going to be releasing these episodes weekly, as you guys have already seen. Because, yeah, this is episode 4. So, you know, you guys are seeing these, you know, a month at a time almost. You know. All right, let's bring this home. I did not expect to see the Clio V6 here. I know it's mid-engine, but man, it is wacky seeing a hatchback in a mid-engine challenge. One of the coolest ones, in my opinion. It's my favorite car to come out of France. Ooh, that was rough. Cold tires are not playing nice here. MR2 ahead of the NSX is kind of a surprise. See if we can get around the Lotus here. We're able to do so. Remember, realize this is the full autumn ring course, so yeah. A bit longer of a race. Let's steamroll this. And all the understeer. I'm surprised this car is more understeery than oversteery, considering it's a Boxster. But at the same time, I'm glad it's not, because that would be a pain in the butt to deal with. Alright, let's get out of here. Final lap here, 1:33 in that last lap. And we are steamrolling it into this lap here. 6-second gap. Kinda wish it was a bit closer, but that's my fault. I totally expected this car to not be quite as competitive. But at the same time, I don't know. Maybe I didn't. Maybe I just fully expected this car to be as dominant as this. Obviously, I should have expected this because I was the one who tried to put slicks on it, but alright, final corner here. Let's wrap this up. Oh, this is definitely not the final corner. Wow, look at me. Still thinking I'm on the mini course. Bruh. I was about to let off the gas and everything. Wow. You can tell I'm tired. And now across the line. A little lengthier of a race, about a minute longer than the last race. But hey, I mean, we're rolling the dough now. Should be some good cash though for either the R32 or the M3. I'll probably do the R32 because that'll probably be the next car to get retired completely. Because once I'm able to get the HPA one, I'm replacing it with said HPA R32. Alright, New York. Kind of a home race, I guess. This is like the closest track in the game to me in real life, I guess. It's still like way up north from me, but Road Atlanta's not in this game, so this is as close as I got to a home track. This track would have been bonkers with the Lupo. I'm imagining the Lupo, the nitrous going through here. Man, the 1-2 and the 2-3 shifts are so slow sometimes in this game, I swear. Seattle Circuit's one of my favorite of these like city courses that were original. I don't mind this track though. Try some late braking. Stop brakes on this thing are not bad. The Lupo might not have been able to slow down from that. What's interesting though is how similar the layouts of the New York track in this game are to the original Forza Motorsport. It's almost as if Forza copied Gran Turismo's layout for New York and modified it a little bit. And we're like, oh look, we've got New York too. But it's pretty much the Gran Turismo layout, just slightly modified. Now let's rocket down the first of the two straights. Oh wow, look at me, I got distracted. Whoops. My arm itched, and I was like looking down to see what was going on, made sure nothing was like on me for some reason. Drove right into the wall. Whoops. Wow. That was a dumb mistake. At least I know I'm going to be setting the fastest lap this race, that's for sure. Uh-oh. Don't mind me, just kind of cutting that corner. Man, whoever's in last is... Oh my gosh, the voice cracks are for real this episode. Whoever's in last is really struggling right now. Sucks to be that guy. Oh boy, come on. Alright, let's not run into the wall this time on this next corner. Then go straight. Little infinity ad. Not sure what it says, but hey. What's that supposed to be? A Cadillac dealer on the right there? Or just an ad? I would assume an ad. I highly doubt slap a Cadillac dealer in the middle of Times Square, but hey. That's a win! I want to sit there and wait. That's going to be a while. This car is way too fast for this point in the game, honestly. It's fun, but at the same time, being so overtly dominant can be kind of boring at the same time. So, I'm looking forward to having a little bit more challenge with the R32 and the four-wheel drive. The car's probably just going to get... I mean, at this point, I'm not going to have a ton of money to blow around on parts. So, you know, limited on that front. Alright, Fuji Speedway, the 90s layouts. This is going to be the faster of the two layouts. Let's see how this goes. Alright, let's ride. Oh my goodness, it is wild how fast this car is. There we go. The 90s layout is nice because, I mean, it's not quite as technical as the modern layout. I think this is, like, actually different, though, in the newer layout for Fuji. Honestly, it'd be kind of nice to see F1 come here again. Like, I mean, every year that I've watched F1 as I've gotten older, they've been racing at Suzuka for the Japanese race, but it'd be kind of cool to see Fuji again. It's like it's missing on the WEC calendar this year, and it bothers me a little bit because I love Fuji as a track. It's fun. I can usually kind of cut this corner a little bit, but I'm gonna be nice and not do so. I'm gonna play nice. Let's let it hit 6th gear for the first time. There we go, without me short shifting it. Almost 160 miles an hour in this straightaway is nuts. I mean, obviously I know the LMP type cars, it gets way faster. And then you have to get down to almost like 60. Pretty much 60, just under 60 miles an hour for the first turn there. So it's really wild how fast you gotta go. Be faster to get up to, I guess. A little off track there. Oh gosh, lots of understeer there. I am genuinely surprised this car is more understeer than oversteer. Or maybe it's the traction control settings, because, you know, this game you had to adjust them for each car, which is a blessing and a curse. Because it's nice because that means that your experience is going to be different with each of your cars, because you'll have either turned them down, turned them up, left them alone, whatever. But at the same time, it means every car you have to go and immediately change the settings yourself. Part of me kind of misses that feature and wouldn't mind it coming back for 7, but at the same time, like, I don't know. I don't know. I guess it's easier, but for some cars it would be easier for me to be able to turn off the traction control and ABS settings and stuff like that without it affecting all the other cars that have in the game. I just fuel consumption's on. What the heck? I'm down a bar of fuel. Has fuel consumption been on in all these races? And I just haven't noticed? Interesting. Alright, let's collect our money here. Only I think we've got 1 or 2 more races left of the MR challenge. Let's see. One more. We got just El Capitan left. Alright, our last race of the MR challenge and our last race of the night, I think. Be a good way to end off the night, because I'm tired. It's almost 1 a.m. This is the 4th episode I've filmed in a row. I've been filming for over 3 hours. I'm ready to rest up a little bit. Alright. The sad thing is really after this, we'll only have 2 races left in the beginner events, or 2 cups left in the beginner events to do. Because I can't do the K-car race with any German cars. The sport truck race is obviously unable to be done either. So that really just leaves the FR and four-wheel drive events for beginner events. So maybe after this we'll see. We'll kind of plan ahead in a way. I feel like the lineup we have right now I'll almost be able to run the rest of the game with the exception of wanting to get a hold of that HPA R32. Because I think that will be where we're able to really reel in these races. The advantage is with DTM in particular, when we get to that, if I ever do that. As that'll help me get that CLK GTR race car. I mean, the entire thing's German cars. So I'll be able to pick one and run with it. More than likely will be the A4. I do like that car a lot. Probably more than the TT, honestly. I don't mind the TT, but the TT's nice. We are crossing the line into the final lap here. Pretty lengthy lap, but it could be way worse because they are going way slower than me. I don't know what the gap's going to be. Take a guess, about 12 seconds. $14, wasn't too far off. Hopefully for next episode too, I'll mess with the graphics settings, make this game look a little bit better. It's not gonna lie, it does not look good on this PC. It looks way worse than I remember it looking when I was younger. And that transition is brutal. Ah, crap. There we go. Trying to save it. Alright. A little bit slow through that corner, but it is what it is. I'm really tired, so my driving is not as good as I would like for it to be. The funny thing is, my girlfriend's been here. Which by the time you guys are seeing this, she's actually my fiance, but you know. As long as I didn't chicken out. Alright, final corners. Let's let it eat and cross the line for an end to our evening. Or I guess episode for you guys. Evening for me, because it's 12:30 almost. Like I said, I mean, I filmed a month's worth of content in an evening, so now all I gotta do is sit down and edit these monsters of episodes. We'll kind of go ahead and build the R32 though, just to really close this out. Get it ready for the 4-wheel drive challenge. Because quite frankly, I mean, that's really all I would like to do left. I really want to build the R32. So, oh my gosh, the voice cracks. That's going to be the last thing we do for this episode, just because I am very tired, and I don't want to make this a 2-hour-long video. We got the Esprit, we clapped like 6 times. I'm going to sell it anyways. Or maybe I won't. I'll build the R32, then I'll sell it, because then I'll actually maintain a budget build with this car. So let's do that. I'm going to swap into the Mark IV R32. One day. I mean, I'm looking more like Mark V stuff because I can't afford a Mark IV R32, but dude. Go with HPA. Can't turbo it. No, I was hoping I could. Because I would love to have had a single turbo build on that R32 and then had the HPA twin turbo car with it. But that's fine. Let's see. We're going to just focus on stuff I know is actually going to make a difference with this car. So we're gonna focus on that. I don't know. Do I want to put the exhaust on, make this thing sound like Garbo? I don't. I want this thing to sound good. I mean, that's what these cars are all about. Is how good they sound. But I need to give it a bit of an edge over the Evos and stuff like that, because that's gonna be this car's biggest threats. So we are gonna do that stuff. I feel like if I go any further than this in power, I'm gonna make this thing overpowered, too overpowered for its own good. So we're gonna do the triple plate clutch and the flywheel. And then we'll put sports softs on it because I don't think I'm going to be able to get past that at all. Like I said, running the roof was kind of boring because it was so much faster than everybody else. This car I want to be dialed back enough to where it's still competitive. And if it needs to be cranked up later, we can crank it up later. But for now, I just want this car to be, you know, on par with everybody else. I just realized I not only forgot to do oil change, forgot to get the tires. So we're going to go back and get tires for this car. I love that blue. It looks better in person, in real life, having seen a handful of these cars in this color. Probably by the time you guys have seen this, I've gone or am at the Volkswagen Wookiees in the Woods event and have seen plenty of these. So I just love this car. I love this color. It's just one of my favorite cars ever made, and you know, there's something about it, you know. This car is getting gold BBS LMs. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. The question is, I think I'm going to do the silver barrel in this one. Where I think I'm going to do the red logo ones on the... Oh my gosh, I can put a wing on it. Oh no, it looks so bad. It looks so bad. It looks so cheap and tacked on there. Oh my goodness, I can't believe you can put a wing on it. Okay, let's put some tires on this bad boy. And then, yeah, 6,800 credits for that. Not bad. 367 horsepower. So oil change did save us some work there. But alright. Our next time, we'll see this one. Because this is going to be crazy. Twin turbo, 3.2. 500 plus horsepower. I mean, this car can be cranked up even more, I think. I think it can hit up to 700 with the upgraded turbo kit. Whereas this car apparently doesn't get turbos, which is a shame. Let's see, what are... Okay, professional things where we step up to next. So we've got Clubman, the Tuning Car Grand Prix. This will probably be where we bring out the HPA. Turbo Sport will bring the HPA here. The NA, I can't decide. It depends if I build the R32 more or if I build the M3 more. Boxer Spirit, obviously the roof's going to come back for that one. This one I'm not sure what we're going to do. This one, I can't run the Golf. Maybe I can run the Lupo again. Maybe bring the Lupo back. And then obviously this monster of a series, which is going to be insane. Which looks like need to win all beginner and professional events first. So that's unfortunate. But yeah, we'll have to figure something out for that because obviously that'll roadblock us from actually completing the game. And we have to do everything, you know, like the extreme events, which is all the endurance races and stuff. I think, right? Complete all races, the beginner and professional categories. So you need to do... So how are you supposed to get... How did I get the Minolta? Because I had to get that from an endurance race, if I'm correct. Which means I need to finish the professional series. But I needed the Minolta to win the GTWC. Unless I went through the entire GTWC, completed it, and then went back and got the Minolta. I went back and won that. I don't know. Maybe that's how I did it. But I mean, we're going to get a lot of races in with this car. But it's obvious we're going to have to do some finagling. Because the issue where I'm seeing is going to be... Like, I'm not seeing any major issues. Because with World Classics, there are plenty of German cars to get. Boxer Spirit... The roof's got that covered. I mean, there's really only the roofs and the Subarus we're going to see. Turbo Sport, HPA's got it. NA Sport, probably can run my blue R32 that I am driving right now, or the M3. Tuning car, the HPA can kill it. The Clubman Cup, I'm sure I could probably run that in this R32 and be fine. This is the issue, though. It's coming through here. The lightweight K-Car Cup, there's no German cars, unless I can get a hold of a Mark 1 GTI, maybe. That might be able to do it. And then the truck race. So we may have to break the rules a little bit to do the truck race. Let's see if the Mark 1 GTI fits in that regulation. That's too big, of course. Which is interesting, because the Mark 1's a small car. The Beetle's even bigger. That's kind of a surprise. Okay, so 3,400 millimeters is really hard to manage. Shoot, I don't know what to do about that, honestly. Looks like we may have to do some cheats as well for that one, because there are no cars in this game from Germany that are that small. Because even the Lupo's too big. That's like the one car I thought might be able to do it. I mean, look, the Lupo is 3,500. It's 127 millimeters too big. So that's unfortunate. Gotta think a little bit on that one, because I can't think of anything on top of my head that would be small enough to do that series. Because I don't even think the 2002 is that small. No, it's significantly bigger. Wow, it's a lot bigger than I thought. Not that 4,000 millimeters is a big car by any means, but like, goodness gracious. But yeah, so we may have to figure something out, because that is a bit of a roadblock as well. But for now, everyone, thank you all for watching. I will see you guys next time. Have a great day.